Welcome to Mediocre Gaming, and today we're playing Destiny 2. Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and salutations. Today, the Chalice is the key. Let's get to it. In the Season of Opulence, the Chalice is the key, the literal key to get into the Menagerie and to get the rewards that you want out of the Menagerie. Now, in order for that to work, you will need to upgrade your Chalice into certain things before you can progress. So there's a couple upgrades that you have to do, and then everything else is optional where and when you want to upgrade. Now I'm telling you now that not all the upgrades are created equally. Some of the upgrades are better to do before others, and there is one in particular that is of the utmost importance, and you should upgrade it as soon as possible. Now, when we're looking at the Chalice, the first slot on the Chalice to put a rune onto the Chalice, that is required, and that happens relatively quickly in the quest line. Now, the other upgrade that you will need to do is the Power and Efficiency 1. This upgrade will let you further or finish the quest line and then just open it up so that you can go into the Menagerie. Now, what about the rest of the upgrades? Because at first glance, you look at the Chalice and there's 3 upgrades and it's 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. And you say, oh, that doesn't sound too bad. That's 6,000 Imperials. No big deal. But then you notice the 3 sets of 3 upgrades at the bottom. And those vary from 1,000 all the way up to 8,000. So all of a sudden, you realize how many Imperials that you're going to need in order to unlock everything. Now, aside from the required upgrades that you need to do, what else is there? Now you have the second rune slot, which will manage which perks will pop up on the chosen piece of armor or weapon from the first slot. The third slot, that one manages the Masterwork slot. So what you get in the Masterwork slot, whether it's stability or handling or range. Now, and of course on armor, solar, etc. When you look at the Rune Compatibility, that first upgrade will let you start to see red runes drop. So when you have runes drop, either from treasure chests or activities or what have you, or the Menagerie itself, you will have an opportunity to get red runes. So you don't even have the capability of getting other runes other than those purple runes until you unlock those 3 rune compatibilities. So in other words, you won't be able to get class-specific arm, leg, and power weapons until you get that slot open. The second slot gives you the opportunity to obtain and slot green runes. So you cannot get green runes until you open up that second rune compatibility slot, which will give you helmets, hand cannons, and sidearms as an option. Plus, of course, that second and third slot on the Chalice will determine what perks that you can have on it, Masterwork and perks on the gun or armor. The third one gives you blue runes, which is guaranteed drops for chest armor, fusion rifles, and shotguns. So you can't even get the blue runes to drop until you have that unlocked. So all 3 of those very important to have. The second set of slots that you can unlock are the Rune Bonuses, and the first one gives you an additional rune from the bounties and the Rune Finder consumables. So this will help get you more and a larger amount of runes to use during the Menagerie. Second one gives you a refund on looting the final chest for 1 of the runes. And the third slot gives you an additional non-powerful reward from the final chest. Now this is important because the Menagerie is going to be the only place where you can get certain items. And in order to fill out that collection for the Season of Opulence, you'll need to run the Menagerie over and over again. And if you get an additional reward from the final chest in the Menagerie, that is 1 less time that you'll have to run it in order to get a full set of armor or weapons. Now the third set of unlocks on the, or fourth, depending on how you count them, is Power and Efficiency, isn't it? And as I have said before, Power and Efficiency 1 is required for the quest line, which gives you an additional weekly powerful reward from the Menagerie and unlocks a chest on the barge. since it is a requirement, we won't really say anything more about that. Power and Efficiency 2 grants an extra weekly powerful reward, and playlist activities can now give you Imperials. In addition to that, you will need that one in order to unlock the buff for Imperials that you can buy from either Werner or Benedict. And the last is Power and Efficiency 3. Weekly powerful rewards from the final chest will now drop a Season of Opulence mod. Now this will be useful when playing the Menagerie or playing the raid and other things that are on the Leviathan, where you will get a chance to get through encounters a little bit easier. So that one's very important. So all of these unlocks are important for one reason or another, and some are more important than others, but I'm going to tell you right now, the most important non-required unlock is Power and Efficiency 2 for 2 reasons. It gives you a chance of getting Imperials from activities, Gambit, Strikes, Crucible, as well as the Menagerie. And in addition, this allows you to buy the buff from either Werner or Benedict, which gives you a more certainty of getting Imperials from those activities for a certain length of time. I'm going to guess and say it's 4 hours for each buff. And knowing that you need thousands and thousands of Imperials in order to unlock all of these slots, Imperials are extremely important to getting to that point where everything is unlocked. So it is extremely important to get Power and Efficiency 2 unlocked as soon as possible. Now you may say, I've already spent a whole bunch of Imperials and that was not one of them. I spent it on unlocking mods on the Chalice. I spent it on Rune Compatibility, Rune Bonus, whatever. That's okay. But you are going to be a little bit further behind than other people that have unlocked Power and Efficiency 2. So when the next week rolls around for the Season of Opulence, make sure that the next upgrade that you use Imperials for is Power and Efficiency 2. That will unlock getting Imperials to drop from activities, not just from treasure chests and triumphs. And of course, the treasure chests on the barge, which I assume will be coming back on a weekly basis. Since most of the Imperials in that first week have come from triumphs, have come from the treasure chests on the barge, and to a lesser extent from the treasure maps, Power and Efficiency 2 is one of the best ways to get Imperials. Triumphs, you can only do once. Treasure chests on the barge, I'm guessing you can only do once per week. And then, of course, the treasure maps, you can only do once per character. And those only give you about 100, 150 apiece anyway, so it's not like you get a whole lot of Imperials from that. The best way to get Imperials once you deplete those sources of Imperials is to have that Power and Efficiency 2 and do the playlist activities. So while you're doing Strikes and Gambit and Crucible and Menagerie, you will get a greater chance of getting Imperials, or any chance if you don't have Power and Efficiency 2. So aside from Power and Efficiency 2, which is extremely important, what else should you be speccing into? Rune Compatibility is extremely important early on because that'll give you a greater pool of runes to pull from. So you won't always be getting Rune of the Beast every time you get a rune. That'll give you the chance to get the red, the blue, and the green in addition to the purple runes. So you'll have a greater pool to draw from. And when you open that last chest, you'll have more variety of items that you can choose from in order to get. So after Rune Compatibility, then I would say unlock 1, 2, and 3 on the Chalice. 1, of course, is required. 2 and 3 are not. 2 controls the mods, and 3 controls the masterwork. So instead of leaving it up to fate and hoping and crossing your fingers and praying to RNGesus to get you that weapon or that piece of armor with the rolls that you want, instead slot it with runes and guarantee it. So you're going to be at least closer to getting that god roll or whatever roll that you're looking for on that weapon or piece of armor from the Menagerie. And finally, the Rune Bonus will be good in the long term. Getting the refunds and getting the extra runes, it will be important, but it isn't as important as those other categories. So get Power and Efficiency 2 and 3 as quickly as possible. 3 you can get either right after 2 or you can get it sometime after Rune Compatibility are unlocked, and that is up to you. And then unlock the Chalice 1, 2, and 3 and then unlock the Rune Bonus. But that's it. Hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to ring the bell before you leave to be notified of all future episodes as soon as they go live. And thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing. And we'll see you next time.